Hello, and welcome back as I share more tips and tricks to a successful virtual site visit. In our last segment, we learned about how to best prepare ourselves before the site. Now, let's focus on the execution. Because remember that your client is making a big decision based on what they see in this short amount of time and through your camera lens. So let's make it count and do the best virtual site visit we can. Have the appropriate tools ready. If you're using your cell phone for the virtual site, which I do, make sure that it's fully charged on Do Not Disturb and that you have an extra battery pack or portable charger with you. Sometimes your phone battery can drain pretty quickly on a live virtual site. Use a pair of AirPods or earphones for the site as well. This will help for you to clearly communicate with the client and avoid some of the background noises. Now, ideally, you'll have a team member with you acting as a cameraman, and you as a sales manager are in front of the camera. If that's the case, both of you should be individually logged into the virtual site. You as the sales manager in front of the camera will have your AirPods in and be able to clearly communicate with the client, but your screen will be turned off. Then your team member as cameraman will have their screen on to do the filming, which the client will see, but will be on mute. This way, the client can hear you as a sales manager, but see through your team member's camera. Another great tool is using a gimbal or some sort of cell phone stabilizer. I simply have something small like this, and it helps just to improve the quality of the footage. Wear a mask. Consider wearing a mask when you first greet the client. This shows respect of the current situation and that you're mindful of the health and well-being of your hotel guests and of the client's attendees. Then, as the site begins, remove the mask if it's appropriate, safe, and let the client know you're doing this so you can clearly communicate with them throughout the site. Begin the site. So now you're ready to begin your virtual site. Be on the call a few minutes ahead of time and ready to go before the client is. Then consider putting yourself on mute and turning off your screen. This way, if the client joins and you don't notice, they won't hear or see anything that you wish that they didn't. Once you welcome them to the property and introduce yourself, share with them what the flow of the site will be, what spaces will be showcased, and review the objectives of the site. If leadership and other team members are present at that time, go ahead and introduce them and share what their purpose is. This also goes for your virtual site buddy. Introduce them and share what their role will be in the site. Site obstacles. After your introductions have been made and you're about to begin the site, address with the client any potential obstacles during the site visit. For example, connectivity. I know that I lose connection on elevators, so I let the clients know that on the elevators, I'm going to lose connection, but I'll be turning off my screen, and I'll be reconnected after the elevator ride. Ask your clients to let you know if there's any issues on their end, if their picture's blurry or stalled or any other issues. Just ask them to communicate throughout the site. This is a benefit of having a virtual site buddy on the call. Your virtual site buddy can let you know if there's any issues with the picture. Other obstacles to address would be many guests in the hotel, in the lobby area or other common areas, construction going on, or if any of the spaces or guest rooms can't be seen. Then have photos ready to share. Walking and talking. Let's remember that your client can only see your hotel on their screen through your lens. So move slowly and as little as possible. Take your time. I like to go into each space, stand in one spot, and pan the entire room. This helps to avoid any unnecessary movement and shaking and just creates a better viewing experience for the client. Also, if I have to go a far distance between spaces or the meeting space to the guest room, I offer to turn off my camera so the client doesn't have to see me moving quickly between the spaces. Keep continuous communication with your client so that they know that they are your main focus the entire time. Reference the client's program often and give them that sense of ownership. For example, I know that keeping the exhibitors happy is very important to you. So your exhibitors are going to love their exhibit hall, and this is why. We don't want to just give a general overview of the property or just a general tour of the property. Make every moment relevant to their group and tie everything back to them. Really help to paint that picture of what their attendees' experience is going to be. As you finish in each space, before you leave, ask if there's any questions about that space. Ask if they feel that this space will work well for them, and then let the client know which space you're moving to next so that they can be best prepared. Throughout the entire site, continuously reference your current location, the connection between spaces, and then talk about the flow of the property so that the client can follow along on their property map. Health and safety protocols. Understand the client's concerns and expectations, if any, in regards to COVID, with social distancing and other safety measures. Reference your hotel's guidelines and practices with meeting space sets, food and beverage outlets, social gatherings, and other areas as needed. Let's not overemphasize some of the obvious though, like pointing out every hand sanitizer station. Instead, let's reference some of the unique factors about your property that are favorable during the time of COVID, like outdoor corridors, ample outdoor space, or proximity to nearby hospitals and health facilities. Site conclusion. As your virtual site concludes, try to end in a visually appealing and interesting spot. Most importantly, a quiet spot, so you can recap the site and hit the highlights with the client. Also, ask the client about next steps and when to follow up. You want to be efficient with these last few moments because you want to keep the conclusion brief but effective. This is a different type of site, but it's still a site and an opportunity. So make sure that that client knows that you want their business and that your property will be a great fit for their program. Well, I hope that these first two videos will help give you the confidence to conduct your own virtual site experience and to be successful in booking that program to your hotel and bringing that group to San Diego. I will be posting 2 additional videos, one on how to enhance your virtual site experience and one on how to create a customized pre-recorded site video. Thank you, San Diego.